Hey everybody, this is the Plague One here, and this is video number 6 of a series of 7. And today's focus is on the Lord of Decay known as Gluttonius. And as usual, I brought my Death Guard documentation with me. So let's begin. Gluttonius. So the background story about Gluttonius, he was once a champion of Nurgle who started to dine on his enemies. And as he grew in power, he would eat more and more of his enemies, so much that literally his other companions called him a glutton. And he laughed out loud and said, "Truly I am a glutton." And Nurgle heard this as well, so he renamed him later on to Gluttonius. And as Gluttonius started to grow in power, he started consuming more and more of his enemies until he started growing in size. And eventually he grew so big from eating all of his enemies that he started to transform. And once he transformed, he became a demon prince under the blessing of Nurgle. And ever since then, he has been also known as the Everhunger and the consumer of worlds. So that's a quick background about Gluttonius. You will see here a view of Gluttonius's force org. Okay? And so we'll go over this real quick about his force org. But we want to go about his mission statement because his mission statement is rather, all my companies are unique, but his is the most unique, I believe, of all of them, and has something very special about his force org. So we're going to look into the documentation and give you a hint of what I'm talking about. So, as I said before, Gluttonius is the 6th grade company commander, the demonic warlord, the Everhunger, and his title is Exterminus Supreme, Devourer of Worlds. So the 6th grade company contains the largest contingent of Chaos Nurgle Marines. So his great company is the pipeline. It is the blood of the Death Guard, because in GW's fluff, they did not name how the Marines or the Death Guard continue. So I had to have some type of answer for that. When you look at other companies, Space Marine companies, they had apothecaries and they also had neophytes who were brought into into their companies. And they had a special company, the 10th, which was all their recruits doing their scouts, and then they gradually became Space Marines. Well, the Death Guard does not have anything like that. So the 6th became like my pipeline of fresh blood that comes in. Okay, so let's continue. So, like I said, is the largest contingent of Chaos Space Marines and unites former Death Guard affiliates. This is also including the Purge, the Tainted, the Grey Death, the Cleaved, and so on. Renegades and all rogue war bands dedicated to Nurgle under one banner. So Gluttonius is the one that gathers all of these Chaos Marines, affiliates, and so forth under his great company. And leaders of each warband are allowed autonomy. So basically they can function by themselves. We'll get into that in a little bit and stuff. But they have to report to Gluttonius and serve under his command. And the 6th is sent to a planet when the enemy needs to be killed, eliminated, annihilated, so forth and so forth. We're to wipe them out. Thought of every word I could find up to basically wipe out that planet. The 6th also specializes in exterminating Xenos and all forms of life, and they use nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons at their disposal. So the Imperium had banned these planet killers and these chemical weapons at one time, but the 6th uses them exclusively when they're conducting their warfare. Also, the 6th is the primary means of recruiting fresh blood, which we talked about before, into the Legion. Loyalist Marines will be captured, tortured, and forced to convert to Nurgle by consuming Nurgle's rot. And the rot will contaminate the gene seed, transform into servants of Nurgle, and this will happen to all of them. Now here's the last part that's very interesting as well. Renegades Rogue War bands, and Death Guard affiliates can become official members of the Death Guard after they have proven themselves to be loyal to the Legion and declaring loyalty to the Primarch Mortarion. So in the fluff of the Death Guard, you will see that it'll say have the statement that all Death Guard Marines are Plague Marines, but not all Plague Marines are Death Guard members. So in order to become that, and the fluff is very clear, in order to do that, they must declare themselves, they must basically take an oath and swear loyalty to Mortarion. And after that, then Nurgle will bless them as Plague Marines, which I thought was rather unique, why they didn't have to declare themselves to Nurgle, but actually to Mortarion. But then it makes sense because Mortarion is like Nurgle's chosen son. So in order to become a Death Guard official, Death Guard member, you must declare yourself your unsworn loyalty to Mortarion, and then only after that are you granted to become a Plague Marine, which is kind of important. We're going to continue. There's a little bit more to it as well. The leaders of the six were apothecaries. So you will see Necrosius and Thanius are apothecaries, as well as you will see the other captains are also apothecaries as well, who have been converted to sorcerers of Nurgle, and they use their skills and combine it with the magic of Nurgle to convert Gene Seed and to preserve it to the creation of future Plague Marines. Also, there's one other thing. If you look at the Four Swords, you'll also see there are no elites in this army, and that's for a reason. And this is in the last part. I did not put these elements into this video, but you'll see them as I speak about it. The six is the refuge of the unfavored forces of Khorne and members of the Fallen. So, all the Dark Angels who became the Fallen, for those who pay attention to the fluff, they found a refuge in the six, as well as any Khorne members who found unfavorable with Khorne for whatever reason, or specifically with Angron, they've fallen out with him, they can find a refuge here with the sixth. So I use that as my way of be able to use Khorne Berserkers as my elites. So they are used when I'm on my extermination missions or basically getting rid of planets. So that's where you will see Khorne elements. But as you see, they're not really Death Guard members, so you don't see them in the video. In this one, you may see some elements like that in the 7th video. So pay attention to that one. So let's look into Gluttonius's Four Sword. So you will see here this sorcerer. Now this sorcerer is not a part of 6. He is a sorcerer who belongs under the great sorcerer Usak. And this is one of the guys who comes down. This is the Dark Leech. He comes down and he casts his magic over a captured Gene Seed to convert it to, so they can be put back into Marines and so they can become Plague Marines. Okay? So that's one little spin on it. So he is not his lieutenant. He comes in. The sorcerers who actually come in, they can come in any time and aid 6, especially when Chaos Marines are captured. So let's real quick at the first company. So you'll see Necrosius. If you guys saw in the 2nd video, you see under Commander Grugor, you will see Necrosius, and he is the 3rd captain of the 2nd Great Company, and you'll see Thanius is also the 3rd captain of the 2nd Great Company, and he's the standard bearer as well. These Plague Marines here belong to 2nd. However, you will see them aid in 6. And you will also see them as well. They are like the observers as well. So whenever they see Plague Marines who are not Death Guard Marines as yet, when they prove their worth on the battlefield in their eyes, then they will bring them up to take the oath with Mortarion. And after they have done so, then they can become official Death Guard Marines. Okay? Then we get to 3rd. So I'm going to move Gluttonius out of the way. And we're going to come to the 3rd. The third belongs to Rachinus. And Rachinus, he is in charge of the Brotherhood of the Plague, which you saw in the third video under Magatus. So this also lets you know that you can see Chaos Marines will be sometimes used by other of the great companies as additional forces. And they will assist as need be. As I was saying before, they are like the recruits of the new recruits of the Death Guard. So at times they will be called upon to assist whenever the great companies deem it necessary. Then we'll come over to the fourth. And in the fourth, this is Morbius. And this is the newly chapter of the genocide, which is one of the new chapters I just made up. And he is their leader. And he has with him the standard bearer, Rotus. And Rotus is the standard bearer of the Sixth Great Company. Then you will see the Tainted. And the Tainted does not have a leader because they're actually the warband of Necrosius. Now, the reason why Necrosius has so much power, and we'll go into another video, but he is known as the Hand of Nurgle. And we'll get into that when he has his own video. Okay? Which all lieutenants will. And as you can see, again, we'll go over their force order. You will also see that the Sixth has a lot of vehicles. This is on purpose, is because whenever a company or Marines or Loyalists or whoever is captured, we take their vehicles because Death Guard is really not known for having too many vehicles. So in order for them to continue as a Legion and be able to conduct war missions, then any type of vehicles that are captured, they take them and convert them over, so now they belong to the Death Guard. So that's my answer for how the Death Guard has continued to stay, to have the lifeblood continue, how the Death Guard is able to keep functioning, and how we're able to continually to stay in combative readiness, or battle readiness. So there you guys have it. This video's a little bit longer, but I thought it was necessary to explain a little bit more about the Sixth and what it has. Again, shout out to the Campaign Gamers Club and the President, Nightcage. And for all you guys who are watching, thank you for watching, for subscribing, and your comments and suggestions are greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching again, and look forward to seeing you guys again. Take care, guys. Thanks again. See you guys later.